Hi, I'm Heidi from Bunbury and the Stacks. I'm here today to participate in a book chat. Book chats are hosted monthly by Misty at the Book Rat. If you're not familiar with them, I highly suggest you check them out. She's awesome. She comes up with a monthly topic. It can be anything from desert island reads to what you like aesthetically about books. And this month, the topic is beach reads. Now, before I begin, I have a confession. I hate the beach. I don't enjoy it. I don't like being around that many people because it's always crowded. I don't like the sand. I don't like the sun. As you can see, I'm a white girl, a very white girl. I don't do well. I don't like the ocean. It creeps me out. I have some paranoia about dead things in water, which is probably from the stuff that I read. I'm not originally from anywhere near the ocean, even though that's where I live now, which I think definitely has something to do with these paranoias and just distrust of water. So my big summer activity is not the beach. It is camping. I'm a huge fan of camping. I love to camp and hike and backpack, all that stuff. I love to sit around all day in a nice camp chair in the forest with a little fire going, grill some marshmallows, have a beer, and read. That's what I enjoy. And so instead of picking particular beach reads, I'm going to recommend some of my favorite kind of wilderness, outdoorsy, camping, survival type books. So, first up, a camp book I really enjoyed last year that I wish more people would pick up is The Girls of No Return by Erin Salden. It was a pretty heavy contemporary in that it just shows the ugly side of girls. It takes place at a camp in Idaho. I really enjoyed it. Then there are some of my childhood favorites. I loved stories about Native Americans surviving and just living off the land in a different way than we do. One of my favorite authors in that regard is definitely Kenneth Tomasma. He's a Wyoming author, so many of you may not be familiar with him, but some libraries do carry his books. You can find them in the Yellowstone gift shops if you ever happen to be there. I highly recommend them. My favorite is Naya Nookie, Shoshone Girl Who Ran. Another childhood favorite that I hope you've all read, if not, you need to, is Hatchet by Gary Paulson. It's a whole series about Brian, this kid who survives a plane crash and has to live off the land until he's found. That's the first book anyway. He does go back in later books. You don't have to read the whole series. You can just read Hatchet as a standalone. It's one of my favorites. It's one I reread every couple years. I adore it. Please check it out if you haven't read it. Then there's a couple books that work as both beach reads and survival books. They are Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell. I reread this just a couple years ago for graduate school. Wrote a whole paper on how I feel like this book and other books like it really helped form who I am as an adult and a reader and what I love and what I enjoy about books. Next would have to be Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. I don't always 100% love Libba Bray's books, but I can't not read them. I highly recommend Beauty Queens on audio in particular. Libba Bray narrates it herself. She does an amazing job, which isn't incredibly common for authors, but I honestly don't know that I could have even gotten through it in text. Loved the audio. Definitely recommend it. Another recent survival favorite would have to be Veronica Rossi's Under the Never Sky and Through the Evernight. I adore this series. Perry, Arya, Roar, Liv. She does such an amazing job with her characters. The world building isn't 100% in the first book, but she totally improves upon that, and it's so worth it for the characters. You want so badly for these people to find a place in the world. That's it for a quick run of survival stories that I love. So let's talk about a few other things I look for in summer reads in general. I like them to be quick, somewhat light, really engaging, fun, and I think this is something that's pretty common for all readers. That's why I think a lot of us go for things like contemporary in the summer, even if we aren't big contemporary readers. 2 summer contemporaries I want to pick up this year are Five Summers. This one I feel like I could relate to because I spent a lot of time at camp growing up, had some great friends from camp that I kept for years and years, still talk to, adore them. The other is A Midsummer's Nightmare by Kody Keplinger. I've been meaning to read Kody Keplinger for a long time now. I'm so bad about reading contemporary. I have both this one and Shutout, but of course this just screams summer read, literally, so have to do that. For the summer, I'm also a big fan of middle grade reads. They fall into that light, easy category. A couple I'm looking at this summer would be Shannon Hale. I haven't read any of her books in a little while. I am a fan of hers. Everyone's favorite seems to be The Goose Girl. I haven't read it yet. I've had it forever. Clearly, this is the time to pick it up. Another type of book in that category for me is graphic novels. I'm a big fan of graphic novels for the summer. They're easy to pick up, set down, read in a couple hours. This summer, I hope to read Gunnar Krieg Court. I was pitched this by Flannery from The Read Venturer. She has great taste. She told me I would love this and pitched it as like a scientific Harry Potter graphic novel. And she sent me a video clip of the author, who is totally adorable and British, and I was completely sold. Have to read it. Another thing I love about summer reads, summer is a time when I tend to get really homesick. I miss the mountains dreadfully. It's just not the same on the East Coast. They like to call them mountains. They're not really. I miss those hot summer nights and the crickets and the bullfrogs and the fields of wheat and corn and all that cheesy mumbo jumbo. So, one of my favorite summer books is The Miseducation of Cameron Post by Emily M. Danforth. This actually takes place in Montana, not Wyoming, but it takes place in southern Montana, not too far from where I grew up in northern Wyoming. I've never read another book that reminds me so much of my childhood home. It's crazy. I'm so in love with this book. I want to be best friends with Cameron and hang out at Taco John's. That's all I'm saying. Other things that remind me of home would be westerns in general. I don't read a lot of westerns unless there's some kind of twist to them, which is why I picked up Six Gun Snow White by Kat Valenti. You should all know by now that I'm a huge Kat Valenti fan. I wax poetic about her Fairyland series on a regular basis. Can't wait for book 3, especially because I believe she said something about moon yetis, but this is her westernized telling of Snow White, and you all know I'm a sucker for a good fairy tale retelling, so definitely signing up for that. The last type of book I go for summer reads is urban fantasy. As you know, I've really gotten into urban fantasy since the last year. Love it. I have 3 main authors I adore, being Alana Andrews, Shannon McGuire, and Patricia Briggs. I'm in the middle of the Mercy Thompson series and the Alpha and Omega series for that matter. I'm dying for Magic Rises to come out next month. I have in my hand Shannon McGuire's Discount Armageddon, the first book in her Encrypted series, which I plan on reading quite soon. All of these are potential summer reads, almost definite summer reads. Finally, so I don't leave you guys entirely without a beach read, I have one beach read. In the fall, in October, some friends and I go down to Miami, go to a beach there. That is the one time I enjoy the beach. I love it. Private beach, not a lot of people. I can sit there and read. They bring me an umbrella. Greatest thing ever. So, it's October, it's the beach, what am I gonna read? Saltwater Vampires by Kirsty Eager. Andy at Vegan YA Nerds sent this one to me. I've been really excited for it. I know it's probably Kirsty Eager's least popular work, but it's the one I want to read the most. I'm not gonna lie. It's based on a historical event which she gave a vampiric twist. I can't wait to dig it out this fall when I'm at the beach. Maybe just creep myself out a little more than I need to. So that's it for me for Book Chat for the month. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and let me know what you think of any of these books, what you like to read in the summer, if you like beach reads, if you like camping reads, what you like to do. Don't forget to check out Misty's Book Chat because she's why I'm here. And I'll talk to you guys later. Happy reading.